Hi, this is Connie Giordano with Walking in Truth Ministry. Join me now as I deliver this stirring message from God's holy word. Have you ever heard of changeable silk? It looks green one minute, then brown, depending on how the light falls upon it. It is neither green nor brown. It's a compromise of the two, according as you present it to the sun. This is the same for some Christians. You get a heavenly shade or a worldly shade, according to the company they are in. Hosea 10:2 explains it in this way: their heart is divided. In the Bible, we find that Hiram, king of Tyre, was like these Christians in that his heart too was divided. He blessed the Lord when Solomon became king, contributed 120 talents of gold toward a temple to Jehovah. Yet, in his own country, he dedicated a golden pillar to Jupiter. The biblical illustrator said, in every age and country, there are some found with divided hearts on the subject of religion. What about you? Is your heart divided? Throughout the Bible, we find many examples of a divided heart. In 1 Kings 18:21, the prophet Elijah asked the people, how long halt ye between two opinions? If the Lord be God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. These Israelites worshipped God to please the prophets. They worshipped Baal to please Jezebel. Elijah asked, how long will you go limping to and fro between two opinions? How long do you think God will put up with your attempting to play both sides? Make up your minds, one way or another. In 2 Kings 17:41, we find a mixed multitude bringing about a mixed worship. So these nations feared the Lord and served their graven images. Sad but true, we find the same happening in our churches today. It is called mongralism, adulterated religion, mingle-mangle religion, and gallimaufry, a mixture of true and false. Another example of a divided heart can be found in Zephaniah 1:5, which says, and them that worship and that swear by the Lord, and that swear by Malcolm. These people had one foot on the land of truth, another on the sea of falsehood. They swore allegiance to Jehovah while doing acts which denied it. They divided their allegiance between the true God and the false. In the New Testament, in 1 Corinthians 10:21, the Apostle Paul described the ones with a divided heart as those who were drinking the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils, partaking of the Lord's table and of the table of devils. Paul was not saying that it was naturally impossible to do so. He was saying that it was morally impossible. Matthew Henry said, communion with Christ and communion with devils could never be had at once. The biblical illustrator said, every man's life has two cups. Out of one of these every man drinks, and by it he lives such a life as he has. You are either drinking from Christ's cup or the devil's. Which is it? From whose cup are you drinking? At whose table are you eating? Whose ways are you following? Lastly, we find an example of the divided heart in 2 Corinthians 6:14, where believers were joining with unbelievers in the same pursuits, associations, or political schemes which violated the laws and principles of the Bible. The Apostle Paul asked, "What fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness? Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers." In other words, have no part with them. Do not patronize their sins or vices. In closing, look around you. We are in a warfare between good and evil. Hence, there is a need for taking sides. You must take a side. You cannot remain neutral. You can no longer halt between two opinions. God is asking you the same question that Moses asked the Israelites. Who is on the Lord's side? You can no longer play both sides. You must decide. Not to be on the Lord's side is to be on the side of his enemies. As a Christian, your duty is to choose the Lord's side. He has a claim on your allegiance. The preacher's homiletic commentary said, "Let us put ourselves on the Lord's side, whatever it may cost us." When you are on the Lord's side, you are on the side of truth, the side of no compromise, the side in conflict with sin. Truth cannot be divided. Your conduct cannot have two hearts. God's people do not attend the synagogue of the undecided, nor do they live in secret or in retirement. Who is on the Lord's side? Are you? Then show it by coming out from the world and being separate. Take God's part and plead his cause in this ungodly generation, no matter the cost.